Welcome to Nerd Wars, and you guessed it, I survived the Marvels.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
My post-it note schedule for the day had me doing see the Marvels, then see a therapist. I can't afford a therapist, so you guys are going to be my therapist for the day. Doctor chat.
Trust me, I'm the doctor.
Nega band. Turns out they don't call them that. They call them quantum bands. I'm currently still deciding what I am going to call them.
Can I say? No one from Marvel's here? Okay, great.
Please. Cringe acting. The intro, oh my god. The actress who plays Dar Benn, Loki's wife, so bad at acting. Made her the main villain. She doesn't even have like a second in command. There's no right-hand man. There's no main goon. There's no crab main goon.
And 3 orders of white rice.
And the intro just, it just doesn't make any sense at all. There's like zero setup. She just suddenly is like raising a super powerful artifact out of the ground on some random like deserted moon or planet. And then suddenly she's got a really, really powerful artifact somehow.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
How did she learn about it? Kamala's grandma sent it to her? I don't know. So she gets her Mega Man band, and we're supposed to be scared, except she's not particularly scary or intimidating or anything. She's bad at acting. She's that. That is for sure. She definitely shows that literally anyone can act if they a famous actor. Then it cuts to Kamala, and it does an animation, which I'm pretty sure they do in Ms. Marvel. I guess I should mention I didn't watch the Ms. Marvel show or the original Captain Marvel. Now I get to watch them for work. While my boss doesn't even watch them. But they're all so tired of watching it, I figure time for me to step up and step in. I'm taking one for the team.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for
You
him.
like these reviews? You hate these reviews? You rather I do a short Jeremy John style review rather than getting really in-depth, like elbow deep? Let me know. I was enjoying the Kamala animation, and then it got towards the end and got cringe as Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was telling the story of Ms. Marvel. Not that anyone would know, no one watched it. And then it ends with the first twinsies. Ms. Marvel liking Captain Marvel. There are endearing moments. You know, I like it. The twinsies part, though. So Carol is floating alone in space in her ship because no one can stand to be around her. Basically gives a Captain Marvel recap as she's thinking about what happened in Captain Marvel. Thankfully, I didn't watch it. And then she gets out of her bed and puts on her space Crocs. And this is the part that Nick Fury refers to her as, quote, the prodigal child of the Milky Way. I'm pretty sure it's in a trailer. I never quite really put together what he was saying. So Mary Sue 101, instead of the character actually like doing something where you're like, oh, they're awesome. Instead, another character just tells you how awesome they are and you just have to trust me, bro them.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Don't worry, audience. Carol is the best. She's the prodigal child of the whole galaxy, guys. Isn't she the best?
Can Captain Marvel beat Superman? I can't believe you even have to Google that, duh.
All we've really seen is her put space Crocs on so far. There is an anomaly disturbance. She didn't even notice. But Nick Fury did, and he sends her out to investigate. So she flies down to the planet with a cat on her shoulder to investigate the problem. She notices there's an open jump point. The big portals that they travel through space, generally supposed to close after you go through it. But this one's not. This one's got a prolapsed anus.
I mean, why?
And when she's on the speaker with Fury, there's like a 3-way call with Monica. So you get the beginning of some Carol and Monica drama I don't know anything about nor care about at all. And then
Change places!
and everybody starts swapping all about. Kamala ends up in space. Carol ends up in the closet. More on that later. Around here is where I realized that Miss Marvel's relationship with Captain Marvel is kind of similar to me and Jeremy and Gary. At least I never said twinsies at him. And then everyone ends up back in the right place, and Carol's back on that moon, and suddenly there's bad guys there now, suddenly. And she like punches one of them, and then she goes up to him, and he just starts spilling the whole plan like he's a freaking Bond villain. She doesn't even like threaten him or say, tell me what you're doing or anything like that. He just is like, you're not gonna stop us. The bad guy's already on Tarnax, the next place you need to go, Carol. Tarnax. Here, I already pulled it up in my space Google Maps. Gonna want to bypass Sirius A. Traffic is terrible this time of the day. And Carol's like, Thank you, random goon, for telling me exactly what we're gonna do next in the story. God forbid it happened naturally. So we're at Tarnax, where there's a negotiation between the Skrull, I forgot the R in my notes, and the Kree, who basically are debating who is the worst alien species in the galaxy. They answer both of them. Why are we trying to help these refugees? Like Operation Paperclip or what? But really, it's not a negotiation. Dar Benn's basically like, yeah, I'm going to steal your atmosphere. And yeah, maybe I can find you a place to go. You can join the Kree Empire after we destroy this planet you're currently on. This is a negotiation. I've got a quantum band and weird metal in my teeth to hide the gap in them. I am intimidating. Rawr. That's about as intimidating as Dar Benn. So in the ensuing Tarnax fight, Kamala and the cat, checks notes, Quarvin, what the f*** are they called? Flurkins. God, fuck Flurkins. Oh my God. How could I forget the Flurkins? It's literally 100% of the Marvel's advertising. It really should have just been the Flurkins. So in the fight, the Flurkin had eaten a couple bad guys. So when they got teleported back to Kamala's house, it randomly decided to throw them up. So now there's a fight in Kamala's family's living room. At one point, I believe Nick Fury asked Monica, "Why did you touch it?" Same thing we keep asking. Why does she keep touching all this shit that gives her powers? Her response, "It was glowing." Exactly the sort of joke we would make. Pointing out your terrible writing doesn't make it better. It just makes the audience more aware of your terrible writing. And that continues throughout this. It was glowing, so I touched it. The fight scene in the house is okay. It's pretty okay. But it's put to terrible female rap music. They went, what's the only thing worse than rap music?
Put a chicken in it and make her name it gay!
Girl power. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Literally the hook. Captain Marvel gets shot. But lol. This is the best part of the first act. It doesn't phase her, but for a second there. Maybe with some kind of superpower weapon. Not that lucky. Kamala gets kicked out of her or something. Someone asks if she's okay. She gives a double okay sign. Kamala Harris Khan confirms Supreme Pizza? Or does the double okay kind of like double negative and cancel it out? You tell me in the comments. Then there's another line I enjoyed when Kamala's mom discovered that they'd been spying on Kamala and created a dossier of her. And Fury's response was, surveillance is a strong word. And this is when they start workshopping Monica's codename. Kind of funny, kind of not. Also, though, kind of pointing out that their heads are so far up their butt, they don't even know what superhero they want to make Monica yet. More on that at the end. Twinsies! Followed by Plank of Wood. Anytime old flat ass shows up and gives her Oscar-winning performance, emotionless Oscar-winning performance, I pretty much just put Plank of Wood. Don't really super remember what happened there, but it earned a Plank of Wood comment. Finally, Kamala's, I believe, dad said, they don't look related, referring to Monica and Carol. So I enjoyed that one. They actually do a decent bit of like stereotypes. There's a little bit of like a racial joke there. Like, it definitely could have made the family a lot more annoying. Turns out racial stereotypes and like really controlling like Asian parents, turns out stereotypes are funny. Whoever would have guessed? And then this was one of Carol's headstrong moments. Wrote that down a few times.
Thanks.
And this is when I first noticed that Monica got that booty.
Duh.
Girl's got an hourglass and that white and black. She fills out that suit. So I prefer not to have like all my characters be turned into strong black women, but like
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
silver lining, less quality story, but bigger booty. So take the wins where we can get them. And this is where we get Black Girl Magic!
Black girl magic!
And it's a scene of Monica having to fly up to save Kamala because headstrong bitch Carol was like, I'm gonna fly off and use my powers. Now Kamala is plummeting through the air to her death. Old Plank of Wood's like, I'm gonna murder this teenager. What I forgot to mention originally is at this point, Monica doesn't even know if she can fly. Theoretically, she should be able to fly, but she hasn't flown. So when Nick Fury yells, Black Girl Magic, what he really means is Mary Sue plot armor. CGI so bad concept, pretty cool. Somewhat exciting. I mean, they're plummeting in the ground. I mean, there's really no stakes. You know, they're going to survive just fine. But then right before they're about to hit the ground, they use their powers and then Carol slams into the ground. And Nick Fury's like, oh, no, it's cool. It's just Carol. It's cool, guys. It's just Carol that hit the ground at maximum velocity. I say that and her getting shot were definitely best parts of Act 1.
Right, guys?
Yeah.
Then we get to meet the number 2 for Dar Benn, but like he's not even number 2. We'll call him like number 5. He's man bun scientist for some reason. He doesn't do anything. I don't even think he gets a name. Probably man bun scientist in the credits. And then Dar Benn and Captain Marvel will have a 2v1 fight. Carol just like keeps randomly just like showing up on their ship. It's just like, hey. Imagine them just like randomly showing up on Thanos' ship and just like, hey, what's up? We fight now. So Dar Benn and Carol are speaking to each other at this part, and it's so bad.
As we've discussed previously.
Like an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, but it's just plank of wood versus diversity hire.
Put a chicken in, make her gay.
I'm Hiddleston. The ladies love you, man. You could have done a little bit better. I'm just saying. She's not ugly, but...
And I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes.
Then they're all fighting, blah, blah, blah. The Marvels are the Marvels, so they suck. And Dar Benn creates a broken jump point that sucks up all the atmosphere. How does that work? How do you open up a portal and then all the atmosphere gets sucked through it to another planet? Yeah, physics don't really operate in this movie, like, at all. So they're only able to evacuate some Skrull. And Miss Marvel doesn't like that because she's still all young and idealistic and thinks, so we have to save everyone. And Carol's like, no, we have to go. Get to the chopper. So there's that brief moment where there's a good idea I would have loved for them to explore, and they really don't ever bring that back up. There's a lot of moments where there's a lot of good potential, a lot of interesting things. It's just surrounded by so much crap, and then they never get into it. So it's like, there's a very brief, inspired moment. And then
Black girl magic.
So they get the Skrull refugees that they can back to Carol's ship, and they immediately turn on her and blame her for everything on account of the Skrull being the absolute worst species in the galaxy. So she's got to send them away. We got to get them out of the movie. So Valkyrie shows up by Rainbow, appropriately, and Tessa Thompson or whatever her name is so incredibly bad. She makes Dar Benn seem like a compelling character. The hair is so bad. Oh my god. I get like black girls get like got some crazy hair sometimes. Doesn't mean you have to make it look that bad. And her accent, is she like actually British or something? That accent. Oh my god. And then she kisses Carol on the cheek. So Carol gets out of Kamala's closet, apparently.
What the?
And then on to the next planet, whose name you will immediately forget as soon as you leave the theater.
And then?
Holla back, girl. The home planet of the Kree Empire, or maybe something like that. They're stealing the atmosphere because they had a civil war that destroyed their atmosphere and basically turned off their sun, which is we get the flashback of the Annihilator, which is what they keep calling Carol, because she destroyed the Supreme Intelligence AI, and she thought that would, help fix things, because the AI was making them do bad things, because the AI likes to do bad things.
Fun to do bad things.
It smokes with cigarettes. But no, it ended up just causing a civil war and the destruction of the planet. She thought she was helping, but she actually made things way worse. Okay, that's actually really, really interesting. That's all we get of that. We should really make like that the story. No.
No.
And that's when I realized that even though Dar Benn is like the most basic character, like I want to say poorly written, but there has to be like something written for it to be poorly written. But that's when I realized that I actually like her and her backstory and her motivations more than Carol and her backstory and motivations.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
And then Carol and Monica finally have a heart-to-heart. And it too was actually had some okay moments. Apparently Carol had told Monica, I'll be back before you know it. And Monica waited. We needed you, Carol. Like Carol doesn't age. You had other responsibilities and stuff. You get into all the questions that like immortals and like superheroes have to deal with. Really interesting stuff. And it gets like barely addressed a little bit at the end. But that's it. Lots of potential. It had some really good like characterization stuff. It's just like the tiniest little bit thrown in and then it goes back to crap. And this is where we get the tank top bobs. And yeah, those bobs were performance enhanced. That is for sure. Definitely made me realize why Ryan Kendall likes Brie Larson so much. But then, of course, tank top bobs is followed immediately by plank of wood. Kamala was actually pretty funny and likable in this part. Kind of gets a little close to the annoying territory, but mostly keeps it pretty funny and good. Carol talks about how it's lonely out there. She doesn't have anyone. So Kamala's like, I'll be there for you. I'll drop everything. I'll drop high school. Because there's actually like real like emotions and like character and stuff rather than a plank of wood. You know, and I'm liking her. And then she says, twinsies. Mala, give me like one person to like at least. She comes up with a few more code names for Monica. We get Professor Marvel. And then she refers to themselves as the Marvels. You literally get a Family Guy. The name of the movie is in the movie moment.
He said it.
Turns out the quantum bands were the things that created the jump points. And then one of them, Kamala's grandma mailed to her. And then the other one just got randomly buried. And we don't know for how long or by who or how it was found. You don't need to know those things, though. And then this is where we found out the Kree hammer is called, like, the universal weapon or something. Kamala calls it the Cosmo Rod, which honestly, old plank of wood, I feel like she could really use a Cosmo Rod. Maybe make her chill out a little bit. And Kamala's all, oh, I saw a star chart. Arrow's like, oh, what did it say? Stars. So they have an excuse that, oh, well, I've got this little machine. We can go back in your memories. I mean, hey, at least they're going to show backstory instead of just telling us that Carol is the greatest thing to ever exist in our galaxy. And Carol basically mind grapes the fruit, mind grapes Monica, and forces her to watch her mom dying. And Monica's like, no, I don't want to see this, Carol. And Carol's like, stop resisting. You're going to enjoy it. Just let go and let it happen. Jesus Christ. And then with those two being terrible, this is the moment I realized that I like Kamala. Kind of. And then this is the point where they realize that Kamala's quantum band is the same thing that Dar Benn has. So they ask, where'd you get that? And she says, my grandma sent it to me in the mail. No matter how many times you joke about it, Marvel, it doesn't make your writing any less it makes it more So Kamala's family goes to the space station. Her mom calls Nick Fury Nicholas, which I chuckled at. And around then, Fury claims that, quote, no one cares more than Captain Marvel. The plank of wood with no emotions. No one cares more than the emotionless plank of wood. Fury seemingly exists in this to tell the women how great they are. Mary Sue 101. And here Kamala calls Dar Benn strangely beautiful or something like that. While I was sitting there waiting for the secret endings, I looked up just to make sure how many there were, so know when I could leave. And I saw a Vox article about it. And in it, they went out of their way to call her beautiful. Again, she's not ugly, but they're like weirdly trying to force you to think she's beautiful. And like a Lizzo is beautiful and healthy kind of a way. Yeah. You don't show me she's beautiful rather than just tell me. Like Gal Gadot, yeah, I go on my way to talk about how beautiful she is. But old Crazy Eyes, I assume she's a very talented, funny, interesting woman. The ladies love Tom Hiddleston. Definitely had to make up for it somehow.
That I feel completely accosted.
And here's where we get the jump rope montage of them switching places, like throwing things in the air, switching places and catching them. A lot of Kamala falling on her face. Not as funny as Carol falling on her face, sadly. This part is kind of... could have been good. It definitely could have been good. There's lots of fun things they could have been doing while switching places. But no. And this is where the Beastie Boy song gets played, that they get playing in all the trailers. It doesn't work with the mood and the situation at all. Like, they should have been for, like, the beginning of a fight scene or something. They're for, like, a training montage. They're just on, like, a little spaceship.
And then...
No ending! No ending! No ending!
And then we get to Aladana, also known as Space Bollywood.
No!
Their language is singing. If you don't sing, they can't understand you, except for, thank God, one of them who's bilingual. So the singing is so cringe. I am pretty susceptible to cringe. Like, watching The Office is kind of tough for me. So when it gets, like, a Bollywood and it's, like, in the Marvels, I need to see a therapist after that. However, Monica is kind of funny during one of the scenes. She's trying to sing, "Where is your prince?" like all awkwardly. I mean, kind of funny. And then like Kamala's just like dancing the whole time with everybody and I don't know what's going on. I mean, kind of enjoyable. I liked it. You get the characterization. You get people being who they're supposed to be. Then Carol and the prince have their own little one-on-one dancing and singing. I was really, really glad I was writing a lot of notes down at this point, so I didn't have to watch a lot of it. Honestly, this is probably where they should have put the Beastie Boys music. It was hard to watch. Also, the prince looks like a K-pop ladyboy. And it's so like cringe that Monica looks at Kamala and says, I bet this is giving you a ton of fanfic ideas. Now, apparently, this is taken from the comics. It doesn't always mean something is good just because it's actually taken from the source material. But still, the fact that you got a joke that this seems like fanfic, that means the quality of your writing is fanfic quality writing. It doesn't make it better when you point it out directly to the audience. And then Monica says, damn! So the fight scene is awkward as it was really clunky. But I kind of like the prince. The little cowboy, he seemed a little scared at first, but he was putting on a brave face and being an actual good leader. Something Carol could learn a thing or two about. Even though he was scared and like outnumbered and knew he was screwed, he was still willing to fight at the front lines for his people against an enemy he knew he was going to lose to. To the point where he's having to trust them and their plan, and Monica was going to come in to save him. He's basically practically being put out there like bait to help prolong things and give him time. And there's the moment where you can tell he's kind of scared, but then he puts on that brave face and is like, let's do this. It's like, wow, the K-pop ladyboys make me feel things in here, not down there, in here. And then they cast a plank of wood as the main character. So that was nice. And then he tells Kamala she should fight with her scarf. And then she starts whipping people with her scarf. Is that like a thing in Miss Marvel? Because it was like when you take a towel, you whip somebody with it. She's basically doing that. And Dar Benn finally sees her pants, says, where'd you get that? She says, my grandma sent it to me in the mail. Like saying it enough times gonna make it better. And then after an hour, Carol finally flies through a spaceship, the most overpowered Mary Sue in the galaxy, and she finally decides to use some of that power. Does she stop the bad guy from doing her bad whammon plan?
No!
No, she's only the most overpowered person in the galaxy. What's she gonna stop? Some retard? Was she gonna go stop the female rapper with the gray on spicy? Nah. And again, notice that Monica got that booty. But despite that booty, Dar Benn creates another unstable jump point that steals water. It sucks the water up into the air and then deposits it down into like an empty like ocean. What? Physics are a whole thing. Shut up. And this is where Carol still wants to do everything herself because she's a headstrong. I can do this! And she can't do this. And then they have their crying moment. Apparently, they all synced up. She talks about being the annihilator and how she wanted to make up for it. And that's why she couldn't return to see Monica. And it was actually kind of, sort of a good moment. Sort of. Like, they did characterization stuff. Too bad we hate the characters. And that's when they realize that Dar Benn is actually getting revenge on Carol, which means Earth will be next. And then... Should we investigate what's going on to figure out what's going next? No. We just suddenly have a little memory, we have a little thought click, and suddenly we know where we need to go next, guys. Whole galaxy. We know where she's going. So the space station is under attack with Kamala's family in it, her very, very important family, who honestly could have been a lot more annoying than they were. Credit to them for that, I guess. So they're trying to escape the space station, but all the escape pods are I don't really remember why I was writing something down and it literally happened in an instant. I think a Flurkin ate something. It was Mother Flurkins.
Mother Flurkins!
So they've been discovering these weird eggs all over the spaceship. And Nick Fury's like, oh, cool, weird, mysterious alien egg? Just keep an eye on it. Okay, don't burn it or kill it or no. Around this time is when all those eggs hatch and it turns out they're Flurkin babies, which are cats that are tentacle monsters that can eat people and scratch Nick Fury's eyeballs out and something. So they have to herd the cats. I was literally writing herd cats, and then they literally joked, we have to literally herd cats. They were already literally herding cats. You didn't have to say it. I was literally already writing it down. Guys.
Mother Flurkin!
With that said, actually a pretty funny moment. That's when you get the Monica moment where she's like, I can't. And then Carol's all like, I got this, girlfriend. Girl power. So all the crew members on the space station are running around screaming while cats are eating them. And it's like, they're supposed to be eating them, but they don't really know they're supposed to be getting eaten. So there's someone over the intercom going, stop running and let the flurkins eat you. It was pretty funny. They put some kind of like opera music. I think it was probably some pop song or something. And then they made like an opera version of it. So unlike the Beastie Boys moment, the song actually lined up with this really well and was, yeah, I would say that's honestly probably my favorite moment of the movie. At one point, Kamala literally has to block a dude off from running. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And then she holds the cat up and it eats him. And then she's just like moving the cat around as it eats everyone as they're all screaming at her. And it's actually a pretty funny moment. And then Carol says, I found Dar Benn. She wants our son. She's gonna suck the sunlight through an unstable jump point, and that will fix her planet. What even are physics? I mean, magnets. How do they work? So then, before they go fight the final fight, Kamala has to have her family moment. And it's actually kind of okay. Her brother basically says, don't die. I don't want to be an only child because Asian parents are already smothering enough as it is. Racial stereotypes being funny. Who would have thought? Then as the family and Nick Fury are trying to escape in one of the shuttles, the family is backseat driving them. It's also another pretty funny moment. And then the mom starts like speaking a bunch of jibber jabber. And Nick Fury goes, are you praying? So she stops and says, I didn't say stop. And then she'll say some and goes, amen. And she's like, and he's like, amen. And once again, Dar Benn is a terrible actress. Holy I'm assuming the only reason season 2 of Loki exists is because this got to play Dar Benn.
Don't overthink it.
But despite how terrible her acting might be, Monica got that booty. And we're at the final fight. We're almost done, guys, I swear. Final fight is pretty weak sauce. It's like the 3v1 fight you see in the trailer. And the part that you see in the trailer, that's like a third of the fight. There's maybe like 3 actual like choreographed like fight bits. Like 3. And it's over. She has no one helping her, no right-hand man, just her and her strange beauty. Yep. The doesn't even have a number 2. There's no one else. Yeah, she is one of the worst actresses I've ever seen. She was so bad. Yeah, honestly, the thing I liked most was the Aquaman 2 trailer was actually pretty cool on the big screen. Yeah, so we get a very brief fight scene, no right-hand man to fight. We get the crazy eye moments, and then just something lands on her. I don't even know what happened. I think Carol shot a beam at like the wall or something, and then part of it fell, and like a little pointy part jammed into her stomach. And she's defeated, guys.
So that was really cool.
But then, nope. Just kidding. Suddenly Dar Benn is up and Kamala's head is under the hammer, about to get smooshed. So Carol and Monica just let her take the second quantum band. And that's when we find out Dar Benn wants to use the 2 quantum bands to restart Hala's sun. Actually seems pretty reasonable. You want your people to not die off because they don't have a sun anymore? They don't have water or atmosphere? I'm like, honestly, I'd rather root for Dar Benn than Carol. But Carol says, no, Dar Benn, you can't control the power. You can control one just fine. But if you have 2, it's just too much power for you to control. And she turns out to be right as Dar Benn goes and hits both the bands and instantly disintegrates. Instantly.
I refuse to play your Chinese food mind games.
Creates the jump point, leaves it super unstable, and then it begins to fall apart and open up wider. Oh no, time and space are about to rip apart. Then Kamala puts on both bangles, no problem, smashes them together like it's just Tuesday night. And she and Captain Marvel shoot that energy at Monica, who absorbs it and becomes God, basically. Yeah, maybe not Professor Marvel, maybe Prophet Marvel is what they were going for. So Monica says a bunch of quantum mechanics jargon, non-Newtonian, and says she has to close the jump point from the other side for some unknown forced plot reason. She has to be on the other side, guys. And yeah, that's fine though.
Am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not.
Nothing's gonna happen. It's closing, Monica. Get out of there. Honestly, I think I may have just acted and emoted that better than the plank of wood. Let me try it again. This is how the plank of wood delivers its lines when she's about to lose Monica after finally making up with her. It's closing, Monica. Get out of there. Nah, I'm still putting too much emotion into it.
I'm just not that good at it.
And the portal closes with Monica on the other side for some reason. And Carol flies past it without going through, and then she's just floating in space with bad CGI. Looks like about 12 A's. And that's it. It's over. Oh, wait.
And I'm gonna put my foot in your if you say and then again!
Carol decides she's gonna go restart Hala's sun by just flying into it. Earlier, she's like, I guess I could restart a sun. I've never tried it. So she just uses her normal powers and just flies through the sun and just starts it up immediately. Starts working again just fine. Just does something she could have apparently just done years ago. She spent all this time feeling bad about being the Annihilator and screwing him over. All she had to do was go fly through the sun. Could have solved all their problems.
Am I allowed to tell you that? I mean, it's kind of complicated. Like,
She could have. She just didn't. She didn't think she could, but
just don't worry about it.
But this time she's like, maybe I will. She could have blown the whole sun, like created a black hole and sucked the whole solar system into it. But nope, she made a sun restart. That's like Mary Sue, like 105. Can restart the sun.
Made by women now. Super badass. But, you know.
And now Carol is waiting on Monica to return. That's actually something I liked. That was good. The little closure, they flipped it around. Carol understands how she made Monica feel, and then now she's having to actually go through it. Like, that's good. That's good. That's like arcs and characterizations and stuff. Do more of that.
It's just hard, you know.
And then Kamala goes about starting the Young Avengers with Kate Bishop, or as most people know her, female Hawkeye. She literally does like the in the dark in the chair Nick Fury impression. It's like you hear and you're like, oh my God, that's so bad. They're stealing Nick Fury stuff and giving it to Kamala. Except at this point, Kamala was likable enough to me. I kind of enjoyed it a bit. Without a doubt, the only likable person in the movie is Kamala. And a couple of times, occasionally, Monica's booty.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
And then we get to the secret ending. Monica wakes up and sees her mom is there and alive. And the same, like, age as her, it seems like. And then Beast walks in. Full CG Beast walks in. Doesn't look like Kelsey Grammer's Beast, like, at all. And then turns out her mom is binary. I mean, you'd assume in the MCU her mom would be non-binary, but apparently is binary. Who is a super duper OP, like, high-level superhero. Not Mary Sue at all. But she doesn't know Monica. But the X-Men are finally officially in the MCU, guys. They're here. X-Men in the MCU as the secret ending in the Marvel's post-credit scene. And can't wait for the MCU's version of Fantastic Four and X-Men, guys. Yay. Yay.
No, it's fine. It's really fine. No, thanks for jumping on me.
No, you're quite successfully stolen the torch and taken over.
And that's how I survived the Marvels.
Brie Larson, dog.
And if you want me to do more reviews, or you want me to never do a review ever again, or you prefer they not be an hour long, let me know in the comments. Feel free to bill me for this therapy session down there.
No.
Not so nice.
Get access to exclusive videos and become a producer at my Subscribe Star. Links in the description.